Join in.
And today we're streaming on YouTube. So if you don't want your face to show, then, you can turn your video off. If you don't mind, keep it on. But I just wanted to tell you that we are going to be streaming live to YouTube.
All right. Has everybody received the newsletter today? Just went out this morning. We'll put the link to that. There you go, Marikar. Thank you. This is the newsletter. We actually talked about this in class yesterday, even our structure for the newsletter. So now you get to see the results of what we were showing you yesterday. Um, Nicole, do you want to go through the stories or?
Just one moment. I don't think I got this together.
Well, the first thing on the newsletter was the Claude pricing. So 3.5 Haiku, they're looking at pricing a little bit differently. So what used to be the input tokens, or sometimes people describe the tokens as characters, or, it's kind of not apples to apples, but I think that's really the only way to understand it. 25 cents to $1 each, and now the output tokens rose to $5, which is quite a big hike. Um, or if you subscribe, you can do the flat fee of $15, which I think anybody would immediately do that, seeing that $5 mark.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a lot because OpenAI has done this the opposite and they've dropped their prices on using their product and using their token because the news has reported NVIDIA chips are less expensive and more plentiful. And so people are able to process more. And also, companies like HeyGen have dropped their prices and stopped doing it by usage. But then, since the they're still doing it by usage. So, everybody's trying to figure out the pricing side of things because everyone was losing a lot of money in the beginning because it was so expensive. The processing power is so expensive, and it has been coming down. And then like Perplexity is starting to put ads in, which is also highly debatable. But they want to put ads in to help pay for to help offset the costs of what tokens, the actual cost of processing.
Yep.
Um, so they are trying a lot of different things and we'll keep you posted. And again, this is another reason why U.com is so good because you can get um you can get all the different models and it's one subscription and you don't have to worry about kind of the gatekeeper pricing on the different models.
Yeah, and you could pay
Um
$15 and have access to Claude Haiku and all the Claudes and the OpenAI and everything. So that's interesting though.
yeah.
It seems to me because that's such a big jump, they must have had a lot of free users or like low level, and they're just trying to get them into that subscription because why would you pay $5 a token when you could just have the flat fee? So it's like requiring them almost to be in there.
Yeah. Yeah. With premium. They're moving everybody up the chain. And
Hmm.
on this, like talking about U.com, they are the only AI tool. They had live voting insights. They had an AI agent that would deliver insights during the election last week. Um, and it was the first AI tool probably in the world to be doing live election updates and insights. Um, so that was kind of an interesting one. Um, I mean, I found myself just on Google for that more than anything, but it's, I think people are just trying to figure out different ways to use the technology. And then our favorite this week, laundry folding robots are here. At MIT, we always keep an eye on MIT robotics and their AI projects because they're doing really fun things. And in this one, these robots can put your laundry in the washing machine, move it to the dryer, take it out and even fold it. There are videos on the blog showing this happening. So they've like mocked up a little home environment and because we always joke about AI being able to do your laundry because that's what people want it to do, but it doesn't do yet. But there are now robots that are being trained to do laundry and separate lights and darks and everything. Which I love that. Um, and I imagine like my workout clothes, I hang dry them. So they're gonna have to solve for that, picking out the things that are hang dry and hanging them up. And, I just think this is so cool. Um, and this isn't in the newsletter, but robots in construction have come a long way and the prices are coming down. You can buy a roofing robot for around $30,000 now. I talked to some construction company owners that are embracing the robotic technology because it's hard to find good workers consistently. And if they can get a roofing robot for $30,000, it's well worth it to them. And roofing is one of the more dangerous aspects in construction because you're higher up and there are more falls in that job. And so tackling the roofing element with robots first or earlier on makes a lot of sense. Um, and then a fun one too, we reported on another whale and AI piece just a couple months ago, and now there's a project that they've released more information about how AI is decoding sperm whale communication. Um, and it's actually inspired, like this technology is inspired from rideshare technology, which allows the researchers to gather data on the whale intersections with over 80% accuracy within a 500-meter range. And so they're bringing this other technology into marine biology, which is really cool. We've got some more information and a link to the whole article if you want to learn more about AI and whale communication. Um, that's a fun one. And then there's an article about more of the auto investing. This is becoming more and more popular, is having AI do auto investing, and it has been performing very, very well. And some people are tentative about it, understandably, because it's new technology. You can read more about that on the link on the blog post too. Um, but it's saying like 60% of people are still exploring the AI integrations. 27% of investing companies have fully embraced it, and they say it's a critical role in maintaining a competitive edge. And I know I've got a little bit into AI managed funds because I mean it has access to all this data and it can process it a lot faster and more objectively than humans do. But then humans also have intuition that robots don't have. And, some humans have really good intuition about these things. So there's that human versus AI, human plus AI conversation that's going around investing. Um, and then Google has a new tool. It's funny, it's called Jarvis, which is what Jasper's old name was. Um, and they accidentally, it says accidentally, we don't know, it might have been on purpose, but they accidentally gave the world a glimpse of the upcoming AI marvel Jarvis when it briefly appeared on a Chrome extension store. And this was supposedly in accidentally. And this agent is supposed to do things like book flights, buy groceries, and do online research so that you can be freed up to do more of the more complex interactions. It's supposed to be like an assistant for you. So we're going to keep an eye on Jarvis. I would encourage you to keep an eye on Jarvis. And it's an AI assistant, while there are plenty of others like Microsoft Copilot, Claude. We'll see how Jarvis does at this job. And then tools we use this week, we highlighted U.com, HeyGen, and Opus Clip. And this Monday, we are going to Palo Alto and we're going to have meetings at U.com and have conversations with them about their products and training because we love their product. And then we're going to go visit HeyGen offices in San Francisco. So we're really excited about that because we want to have a closer relationship with them. We really love HeyGen products, and we're looking at potentially getting an enterprise account, which will allow us to demo more cool things for you inside of HeyGen. Um, and I think that's about it for the news today. I mean, there's a ton of other news, but that's what we chose this week to focus on.
Well,
And
we've
then,
gotten a couple
yeah,
questions in the chat about
okay,
you.com, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk about that really quickly.
okay,
Um, and the differences between using the native models and using you.com and what's the benefit of you.com and, all the things. So, um, there was a couple questions in the chat about do you think that you.com does as good of a job as Claude? And also the differences in pricing. So you.com is this is our way of describing it is basically a smart wrapper. So what it does is inside of you.com it has haiku, it has sonnet, it has strawberry, it has all of the models. There's 23 right now, I believe, inside of you.com. And then inside of there, oh, thank you. Excellent.
yep.
Here's all the models you get inside of you.com for one subscription. So otherwise you would have to subscribe to each one of these tools. And so there was a discussion in the chat about getting different outputs based on using the native versus using the you.com tool itself. Yes, you're going to get
Mhm.
different outputs. And the reason is because you.com has this smart wrapper on top of it. So what it does is it tries to understand your prompt, the context of your prompt, the reasoning behind your prompt, and it actually there's two things it can do. It can choose the correct LLM for you, or you can choose the LLM for yourself. So it has an extra level of AI magic that it's doing. It's not just the Claude haiku doing its job. It's first taking in your prompt and thinking, what did this person mean by this? And maybe they also meant ABC, adding that to your prompt, then feeding that to the correct LLM, then coming back out, making sure what came out makes sense and is accurate and trusted. That's like one of the major benefits of you.com is because that's really what they're really trying to do is be trusted and your source of real information. And whenever hallucinations do happen, which isn't very often, they get in there, they fix it right away. And the output that you get has run through those extra cycles. So the cycle before it goes into the LLM and then a cycle after it comes out of the LLM it uses.
Yeah. And so we liken it to um a phone that, used to hang on your wall, a rotary phone. Like it makes phone calls. And then you have a smartphone that has all the apps and everything inside, and it can make phone calls. And so this can make phone calls. And I'll just show you something that I use it for all the time. Um, I might go into research mode and say, how much should I charge for a 4 hour AI training course? And I actually will pull up, I'll ask it something like this. It's going to research and it says that it's thinking, and it will actually show me how it's thinking. It's going to go out and get some pricing and explore it. And it's showing me how it's thinking. So
This is that
you.com,
that other part too, right? Like where it took your prompt and it's like, well, maybe we should look at these other things too. So that's why her list
mhm.
has gotten longer. Now there's what, five sort of key phrases it's looking up. And to give Nicole a better rounded, better context, better everything to whatever output comes back.
Yeah. And so now it's got 100 sources read, and it cites all of its sources. It says how much people are charging. And then I could say, okay, please create a proposal for a client who wants a 4 hour applied AI training course delivered live to 50 people. And I'm going to take it out of research mode and I can go in more. And I like the proposals that O1 has been doing. I like it. I usually will pick a Claude one. So I could pick Claude, ooh, or I could pick one of these. So let's say now we're in O1, now we're in Chat GPT, and it's using the same information from above, and it's using a different model to process the information. And sometimes I go through like 3 or 4 different models if I'm, just testing it to see which output I like the best. And I can do it all inside of this one tool instead of having to have subscriptions on all of them. And I can see its thinking process. So this one does take a little bit longer because it has the u.com wrapper where it actually thinks about things and wants to, prove what it's doing instead of just responding. Okay, well, so here's a nice response. Introduction, course overview, learning objectives, course outline, training methodology, audience, logistics, materials provided,
Nice.
instructor profile. Yeah, investment, terms and conditions, next steps. And so then if I want to change any of this, I can ask it to change something. Or if I want to see how Claude would do the same prompt, I can just change my model and ask Claude to do it. So this is why we really like u.com. You can test the different models. You can use them all in here and it proves the work. It shows where it shows how it thinks about your query, um, and where it gets its information. Is that helpful?
It
That
was for
answer your
me.
question? Yeah. Amanda, does that answer your
Amanda, I'm
question?
sure it was helpful.
Yes, very helpful. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah. And I can use Claude in here. And I do test the different models often,
I do.
especially when there's a new one.
I like too that it keeps you going. So see these other prompts underneath there. It's actually
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
okay, here's 3 more questions you might want to ask based on your prompts, your results, all of these things. So then it's like, so what's the pricing structure for this? Then Nicole can go ahead and push on that, and it will give her what pricing might look like, or
Or, well, in this
references,
case,
or
I would add the pricing structure and then it would rewrite it. Or if provide references from past clients, I might upload those and it will rewrite this. But it gives me these prompts to make sure that I've thought through the information that I'm asking for a bit more. And do I want to add any specific learning outcomes? Well, that's a good thought. Yeah, probably, and
Mhm.
then I would redo it, or I would put in my bio and then have it fill out the instructor profile based on my bio if I'm the one teaching the class. Um, but O1, as far as doing outputs of proposals, I had been using Claude really consistently, but GPT O1 has been doing fantastic proposals lately. Okay, so that's the u.com stuff that like we really like and use a lot. And we do have subscriptions. I still have subscription to Claude and ChatGPT because we test things natively. We want to see how it compares. And then there were a lot of people asking about how to do things like create courses in Jasper, respond to RFPs, what tools we use for that, and some more advanced marketing things like how we put together kind of the packages of content that we do. And yesterday in class, we showed this a bit. And so we want to kind of go over it a little bit more and dissect some of the elements in Jasper. that you can use to do these processes where you need to pull in information from multiple sources in order to get the best outputs. And in u.com, you can upload documents too. So you could try to do it in there. But then for us, Jasper's more scalable because we have our voices in there and we have our whole knowledge base in here.
And we have clients. If you have different groups of people that you're
Yeah.
doing information for, it's a really great way of categorizing them.
Yeah. Um, Andrea, do you want to show some of your favorite things about Jasper and how we do that?
Sure. They just recently added a bunch of new tools, which is awesome. And where you might call this agents or GPTs or workflows. I don't even remember what they're calling them oh, they call them apps. So they're calling their version of like a GPT or an agent in U.com apps in Jasper. So, but they're set up the same, kind of like the prompts in AI PRM, how you would search through the library for different things like an SEO optimized blog post or a human written material. There was like a bunch of different AI PRM prompts. So inside Jasper, you have all of these things available, but you also have it categorized so you can look in here by what the outcome is. Like if it's content marketing, you would click on that. Then you get blog posts, you get landing pages, you get social media, meta title and description. Like these are all things that we use in a lot of our processes. Campaign brief, multi-channel campaign. I mean, there's a ton of apps that they've built for you that you can just use. They're ready for you. You don't have to build them. There are, let's see. So if you want to get into more social media, they have specific social media apps for Instagram, Facebook, I believe they have TikTok, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and LinkedIn ads specifically. I know they also have Amazon ads. Um, just a bunch of different ways you can use it. So you could click into any of these things and it gives you the information behind it. And the reasons you would want to use this app. So this would create an insightful blog post designed to captivate your target audience while enhancing search engine visibility. So this also goes along with our SEO conversation. It does have tools inside of it that can do some keyword research, and it definitely does SEO optimized if you give it the words. So if you tell it, I'd like to focus on um, AI training for, I don't know, cybersecurity or whatever it is, you can feed it those keywords and it will write based on that as well. But they make it really easy. You just click on the button, use app, and then it actually walks you through the steps. Similar to what I'm working on is from the SOP that we showed you yesterday is getting our SOP built into one of these workflows. So on a topic, whatever that is, um, cybersecurity and AI, it gives you also suggestions. You just click next. Who's your target audience? If you know exactly who that is, you would just type that in. You can say military. And then the outline. So you can use a current blog post that you have, or like I've created here is a simple outline, the template structure. So our newsletter is intro, and then it's a bit of a greeting, and then 5 articles, and then tools we use, join the conversation, which is like the CTA, and then the closing. And that's the kind of information you could feed this here. But for this case, I'm going to ask it to just generate something for me. And so what it's given us is pretty good intro to the intersection of cybersecurity and AI. So it's going to give us a definition, an overview, the role of AI in cybersecurity, benefits and challenges, and so on. They've even given us up to the conclusion. So 8 different areas. Um, I would click next. Now, this is going to be in our voice, but if you want to write it, this is our company voice. And normally, when we are writing things, we change it to one of our voices. So in this
And,
case, you may have a blog post voice that you would pick. Did
and
you have some?
Andrea,
Hmm.
yeah, I was just gonna say there's the add the voice at the top, and I just put the Phoenix TS URL in the chat so we
Oh,
can
okay.
show them how to add a voice. Oh, you could do it right in there.
Let me find the chat.
Wait, just go back up to the voice where you were.
Hold on, I gotta get your chat first. There we go. We're gonna add a
So
voice.
Jeremy's question, the voices are trained within Jasper, and how it defines voice previous blogs question mark. So in this case, Jeremy, yes, you can upload a file, maybe previous blogs, copy and paste text, or we're going to use the Phoenix TS URL for your website. And we're just going to call it the Phoenix Voice for this example. So you can do a website, which could be a link to a particular page that has a blog post. You can upload content like a conversation, or, like you're part of a conversation on a Zoom that's recorded so it gets a really natural voice. Or you could do a pile of emails that you've written, or copy and paste some blog posts. You can use pull in content in those three ways of copy and paste, upload a document, or link to a URL. And then it's going to process the voice and give you its definition, and as you start to use it, you'll refine your voice. So for my voice, my voice instructions, I will tell it not to use certain words. Okay, so now Andrea's added a voice, selected it. Now it's in the Phoenix TS voice.
I'm gonna ask it to add an image too. See what it gives us. And there's
And this,
options to add more information like previous blogs or other things. I think in this case, we're pretty
we could
good.
just use their URL for more knowledge, just so we can show how to do that. Can we add knowledge in here or not?
Mm,
No.
I don't think so, but you can do it here and do custom information and put that in. It should work that way. I love how once you put the whatever it is in there, it changes the title and recognizes what you've put in there. So I put in a whole document, it was like 6,800 characters, and it read it all and knew what it was, and then it changed the title of now what this piece is. So there's other information you can add in here, custom information like I don't know. You would like to include these three things in every one, or I don't, whatever you can think of. But let's just, oops, generate that now. And I'll just click the button. And it should give us, we didn't give it really a structure. So we're totally relying on Jasper and what it thinks a blog post outline would be. But it did give us a pretty good outline. It had 8 different sections. So I think it's going to give us something pretty good. But I'll be interested to see what the picture looks like too. Hey, this is pretty good. I don't know why I'm always surprised when we're doing these. It's still magical to me. Is it to you? I mean,
Yeah.
so before I look at this, I want to see how many were it gave us 887 words. Hey, that's a pretty good starting point. We'll go back up to the top. So here's, oh look, it even gave us some military uniforms, looking very cybersecurity-esque, navigating the future of cybersecurity with AI's transformative power. So it looks like a
And
pretty good article about how both of them come together. Um,
yeah, and
Automation, prediction.
in the you did put military in the audience, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep. Benefits and challenges. So yeah, you could go through here. And another thing I really love about working inside this is, let's say we really needed to be 1,000 words. So I can come in here and ask it to / and then this prompt box comes up and I can say, expand on this section, um,
By 100,
focusing, oh, what?
I was going to say by 150 words.
I
So
don't
see, we
know
each
that
would
it will,
talk to it differently.
I don't
Yeah.
think it would do exactly the right number of words. So I usually just expand it. Um, I don't know, just whatever it is. So then it will create some more words, but we can try that. Um, lengthen this section by 200 words. Let me just first of all see how many we're at so we could check it. So we did go to 1050 from 887 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And now let's see, because I asked it specifically for 200 words, let's see if it will actually do that. It wasn't always there. Yeah, it's doing way more than 200.
Well, so it rewrote it. It did an extra 400 words.
Yeah, that's why I
Oh,
don't
wait,
use,
but hold on. But if we take out role of
if we
military
take
and
out
service security, the
this,
short one, then it should be,
there you go.
yeah. So it did it. It did the
Yeah,
200
awesome. And that's
words.
a newer feature because that didn't used to work. So there's a way you can create a blog post right from a content brief where you can tell it based on keywords, what to focus on, what you want the titles and subtitles to be, H2s, all of that sort of thing. And you can tell it it has to be 1,250 words. And now it will actually do that. And this is a newer feature for Jasper because it hasn't always been um number specific. So if you were doing like a social media bio and you have 160 characters, so you're limited, right? So I guess now that this would be the place to like come in here. You wouldn't have to be doing the little adjustments on the side like we used to have to do. So that's great.
Yeah. Oh, this is perfect, Jeremy. This is exactly what I was going to ask Andrea to show. Jeremy asks, would you take old blog posts and rewrite them using Jasper? I was
Hmm.
just going to ask you to show them remix. So that
Yep.
is perfect. That's exactly what we were
Let
going to show next.
I want to save this. So let me get out of here and make sure that saves itself and we'll make a new piece of content.
Jeremy, do you have an old blog post that you want us to do this with? Okay. Yeah, if you post a link, then we'll show you that. That's one of the things that I really love because you could take a website, a landing page, you can take any kind of information, and you can see on here on the left-hand side, you can have it from text that you copy and paste. You can upload a file directly here. You can put a URL in here and remix that. You can take it from the knowledge base. Okay, so this is, well, that is a title.
One of the ways that we have used this for one of our clients is when they're featured in somebody else's article. We take that
Mhm.
article, we put it in here, and then we use their voice and we tell it to rewrite it in the voice of our client. Instead of someone talking about our client, it's the client and from their perspective and their part of the article. So it understands that we want to not only change how it's talking and like the person, but the impact that the client had on the article or their products had within that it's really really good.
Yeah. So Jeremy, how would you like, what would the rewrite instructions be on this? Would it be to update the information to 2024? Would it be to change the voice to be fifth grade level or to academic? What would you like the instructions to be? Oh, make it more search engine optimized. Okay.
Optimize this. Is it a blog post? Blog post for SEO. I just actually want.
Eighth grade. Oh, great. Okay, so and he said make it a grade 8 English level.
All right. And on this one, let's do our knowledge and see. I want to get our voice in there, but it doesn't look like we can do that on the remix until afterwards.
We can
I'll
do
change
voice
it
on
right
the,
here.
yeah.
And then normally when you change it over there, it doesn't affect what happens over here. But I think in the case of remix, that is the only way to do that. So here we go. I think we should be good. It wants some more information. Oh, there. I just had to click back into that. Here we go. So let's see what happens.
Yep, it's going to the URL and it's reading the page, and then it has to look at it from an SEO context. And behind Jasper, there are 12 different LLMs, at least. Last we heard, it was 12 large language models, and Jasper chooses the right one for the job. So you don't have to think about that. And Jasper is built for marketing specifically. And so it's always going to have that lens. And just like U.com has a math model on the outside of one of its agents, and it's going to be good at math. Jasper's going to be good at making this for marketing. Okay, so it rewrote it.
Actually, it's just giving us like a
Oh,
summary.
hmm. Maybe we want to copy and paste the text.
Let's see. Maybe. Let me go to it.
And a big part of learning to use AI well is simply learning how the AI likes to be talked to have it work, and that changes pretty consistently. Um, and so we think we have a process down. We just do Control Alt.
Oh, I don't want it to collect all of that though.
That's okay. Um, the the way that we talk to AI changes over time, the way that it likes to hear what we have to say. And so I would just encourage you to keep prompting it, keep having the conversations. And if you get stuck on something, ask us, because we might know how to get a better result from something just because we're doing this all the time.
Yeah, it's not liking this. I think it's in let's just give it one thing to do and see what happens. Hmm. Another way to do it, how I don't use Remix that often, to be honest. It's a really great tool. I would go to the chat and ask it to SEO as an expert digital marketer, SEO, rewrite this blog to be SEO optimized. And then I would just put the article in there and see what happens. I'm not sure why the remix is only giving us that small amount.
Yeah, it usually works well.
And so let me just move this over so we can see it. So it's given, let's look at the first one. The deterioration of the biological leg springs. It has changed, unraveling the secrets of athletic training, embrace full range of motion for injury prevention. Understanding biological leg springs. So it has brought in some different keywords that people might look for. More than biological leg springs. Maybe they don't know that's what it's called, but they know what happens and why you would need it. So, range of motion, athletic training, unraveling secrets, injury prevention. So, it's focused on some different keywords here. So, what you could do, and you're the expert at what this information is about, so you'll have to look through this. I can't be the judge, but it looks like what it is doing is it's written the article from a very different standpoint and a standpoint at which people are actually searching the internet. And I would try, if this is correct and you make your adjustments and all of that, because I can send this to you, post it and see what it does compared to the other one. See if there is more
Hmm.
traffic to it, um, and see what happens. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
like creating a new post for sure. Because you could do
yeah,
that. You could take all your old blogs and rewrite them, and it would
yeah.
be new content.
One of our students has been using Jasper for her posts, and she said she's getting something like 60% more traffic and readers by using Jasper for her blog posts. And she does blog posts for SEO, but really she has people reading them. So she wants it to be valuable to them and wants more people to read it. And the posts from Jasper have been working for her.
Yeah, and it tells you on the bottom what it optimized for. So it used key terms like athletic training, injury prevention, and then there were some others, which is great. So maybe these are, you could there could be a whole report and study you do based on a bunch of your blogs asking it, where do you see the missing pieces in our keywords, or like what should we focus on that we haven't focused on yet, or how can we optimize for this keyword, or it's only limited, and I say this a lot, to what you can think of to ask it next or use it for. But yeah, this is pretty cool. So we can send this to you, Jeremy. And yeah, let us know if you're welcome. Let us know if it works for you, what happens with it. Again, you'll have to let us know the if the output is accurate or if it made sense. Let's see, this one is 546 words, so we could definitely, you could make that longer if you needed to, but yeah, it's really cool. And that was, how quick was that? Which is another reason I like to use the chat. And I will also like advertise for chat too, because chat is the only way to keep like your prompts. You can go back into your history of chats and you can see how you prompted and the results you got. So you could reuse it if you wanted to. When I come in here and I do edits or prompts within this section, it doesn't keep that in a history. And I will forget, or I used to forget what it was I prompted before I got a result, until Marikar and I started doing testing together where I would keep the prompt that I used. I would copy it before I hit enter, and then we would see the result. And if it was good, I would keep the prompt and just, it's like our library of successful prompts and how you could use them.
Are you
Have the,
using,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say, so the question is, are you using the creator, pro, or business plan? We're using the business plan. We have an enterprise account with them. And the limitations that you have on the pro account. So pro account's great for trying things, but then your knowledge base will be limited and the amount of campaigns you can do is limited, like their magic campaigns. Um, And for us, we need a big knowledge base. So we're willing to pay for that. Um, and Alana says chat is the only mode that keeps your prompts. Yes, chat is where the prompt history lives.
I'm gonna put a copy to this article. It's just open for everyone if you want to go in there and take a look at it. Um, I just put it into a Google Doc for you.
And
Um,
that's in the chat.
yeah, and I haven't even gone through and tested all their apps yet. I mean, but as you can see, there's a lot of them, so I don't know how I would get through all of them. But it'd be interesting based on what your role is to see if there's any of these that are already built. That would work right away, like a content translator. That's cool. Dutch, Spanish, Japanese, or any other language offered. That's really great. Localized branding. Wow.
And there's a thought leadership. There was a thought leadership one that I saw in there too, like a
Mhm.
thought leadership article.
Yeah, they're just very proactive in adding more and helping you get the best results, which is why we really love using it. And then um, the knowledge base and voices, of course. For us, the knowledge base is definitely where it's at, and you can see how much knowledge we have in here, and you can categorize it by company information or product information or website or newsletter or however you want. You can create your own tags. And then, of course, the brand voice. We have quite a few, as you can see.
I know we probably have 45 or 46 now because I know when I checked before we were at 44, but we just added some. So yeah, we have
And
a
one of
lot of different voices.
Yeah, and one of the newer things they have is the groups, and this is how we can categorize our clients. Or you could categorize like sales, marketing, customer service, or however that would make sense to you. And then under each section, you can load knowledge and voices and documents. So I'll take you to one that has some in it. So these are all the documents that we've created inside this one group. And then the knowledge, because we already had this account before they created the groups, lives in the basic knowledge base, but we can move knowledge now into groups and then decide who gets access and who doesn't. And the same with the voices. But because we've had this account for so long, all of our knowledge lives in the open main knowledge base. But it's a great tool for sure. And it's,
For you,
go ahead.
oh, sorry. I was just going to ask if you could show the insights, 'cause that's kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And when we were first looking, oh,
Oh, this is they're still in beta on this. This is insights for your website. So if you want to know like team info and who's using it, that's under usage. So you can see total generations, hours saved, percent of active days, active users, and then it will actually show you daily usage, which is cool. And then
yeah.
by person. So you can keep an eye on, and you could see we're heavily weighted in the chat. That's probably just because it's me and Marikar using it most of the time, and I trained Marikar how to use it. So I know that she uses chat. Um, and you'll see Marikar does most of our content generation in Jasper because look at how far ahead she is, which is great. And
Yeah.
then it's lots of different insights you can get here. What they are working towards, it's not just insights on how you're using it, but insights on how the content is performing. And that's that beta integration that we showed you before, the insights. Um, so that will
And I,
be the idea with that is that you would post a blog, you would get the results, and then it would learn from the results. So if your blog didn't do very well, it will make changes and tell you how to rewrite it, and then you can repost, and the numbers should make the adjustments.
And then they want to get to a point where, and they're sharing this public roadmap Friday, but they're talking about getting to a point where you would have your analytics hooked up to Jasper, and then Jasper, while you're sleeping, goes out and finds things that you might want to write blog posts about and say, here's something that's trending. Here's a blog post for you. Do you want to post it? And you
Yeah.
could just say yes. And so they want it to be proactive and creating content on your behalf as it's learning your brand and all the things that you usually write about. And then it can go out and look at the internet while you're asleep and write your content for you. So it's pretty amazing what they have in their roadmap.
The beta analytics that they have now, they go and search your website and they'll tell you things to update or images that need to be optimized. It's really pretty cool. And it's at its beta level. So it's not super robust at this point, but it does give you, hey, this page is having an issue, or there's too many H3s on this page. So it's pretty cool. And it will get better for sure. I mean, we started using it when it was Jarvis, and now it's Jasper, but it's even like, I don't even know how many generations ahead from when we started because it's totally a different beast than it was before
Yeah.
in a good way, a good kind of beast.
Yes. Samachi, I don't know if you're there, but I'm curious if you have any last questions about course creation and using Jasper to do that. I think her pretty face is just there. Um, oh, that's not what I wanted to share. I want to show one last thing in Jasper that's pretty fun. I do. Amanda would love to see a demo. Okay. Um, so doing a course creation in Jasper, we would need to have the content base. So let's see. I'm going to go into create. I'm going to turn off my video, so I'm using less bandwidth. And this will all be recorded if you do have to drop. So what do you want to create today? I'll say an AI course.
Are you sharing screen?
Oh, I clearly am not. Um, all right. So I'm in Jasper and I'm asking it, saying I wanted to create an AI course featuring the use of Jasper for creating courses. Which how meta. Uh, Target audience, we'll say educators and AI enthusiasts. That sounds about right. Course outline. Do I have a course outline? Um, Not really. Just how to use. I'll say starting with an outline and filling in the sections. Add more information. I am going to grab some knowledge. And I'm going to take our AI course outline because we already have one. I'll take that for some information. So I've got some knowledge in there. We'll tell it to create an image. Sure, let's tell it to create an image too. And we're going to generate this now. And I do use this for creating course outlines when I'm doing something in person and my audience is different. Like I did a course for the government. I've done a couple different government ones now. And so I say that in the target audience because if you're a business owner versus a government person, the language is just going to be a little bit different. We're also teaching people at universities, mostly professors. And so the language to a professor will be a little bit different than to an entrepreneur or an executive. And so then the target audience really helps to put the context to the information. Okay, so course title, AI course creation, meet your instructors, module 1, harnessing Jasper for curriculum development, filling in the blanks. Okay, so now that I have this, I may go to chat. I know Andrea would go to chat. And I would say, I'll just copy and paste this. And I'll say, please write a script for a 5-minute video about, and I'll say, you are a Jasper expert, Jasper AI expert, and course creator. And I'm asking it to do a 5-minute video script about these items. Okay. And then wherever my cursor is, let's see, I'll put my cursor down here and I can insert my video script. And then I could take this video script and put it into something like, hey, Jen, and it'll actually create a video for me.
Yeah, which we
So
have done.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
used this exact case to, you could use it to create a social video or a lead magnet video or a landing page video to describe your course, to get people interested in it, to get them to sign up for it. You say, here's what the course is about. Now create your script, just like Nicole has here. Then you take the script, throw it into Hey Jen, feed it to your avatar or one of their pre-made avatars, and you'll have a video.
Yeah. So if I wanted to do the about, like, please, so you are a snappy script writer
Snappy.
with a bit of wit, please write a script to describe this course.
That reminds me, in a previous cohort, we did SNL skits and to see what kind of scripts it would give us. And that was really a fun activity.
Yeah, and I'm saying this is a 60-second script to talk about this course. Oh, I didn't even give it the information about the course. I forgot to copy and paste it.
Oh, if it had
But
it above, it's probably reading that.
yeah,
So yeah, Jasper. Yep,
yep.
you're good.
Cut to the host with a confident nod.
Hmm. I know. I like how it gives you suggestions of visuals or it does a really good job with that.
Yeah. So I think if any of you are listening or watching this from that marketing perspective, you can see the value in this.
Yeah, and Alana had a couple of questions and comments. She's using chat to create her one-off courses, and wanted
Chat
to know,
GPT.
yeah, wanted to know if one of the other platforms would be better. Um, my suggestion, of course, is if you're creating multiple courses or you're building marketing material on top of the course, then Jasper, of course, is the best way to do that. But if it's a one-off kind of thing that you're just doing every once in a while, then, ChatGPT is pretty good at that. Um, I would
It is.
go ahead.
Well, I think I would test different models too if you're in there, if you're using Chat GPT, because O1 has been producing really different and for me better outputs than 4. So if you're using Chat GPT and that's your tool of choice, try Strawberry, try
Mhm.
O1 and see what it gives you. Okay, they're just for you to learn and not share. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, see what it does. Try different models inside of ChatGPT if you're using it. Um, but I would look at O1 because I find O1's outputs are way better than O4. Have you played much with O4 or O1, O1?
I've played with it a little bit, fun to talk to, but I probably use four mostly. And when I'm doing these, it's just like something strikes me and oh, I want to learn about that. So I sometimes ask it to give me a course like just for really
Mm-hmm.
or sometimes I'll be like, I want to go do an in-depth study of this. So we'll work on it for a few months and give me, 10 minutes of content that I can do daily. All kinds of stuff. I did one yesterday.
Awesome. That's a great
Yeah,
use.
yeah, absolutely. All right, so I hope that was helpful to answer some of the more advanced Jasper questions that we've been getting. If you have any questions or comments, we are going to be posting this. This is live streaming to YouTube. It'll be there. You can comment there and we can answer your questions. If you're in class, please comment in the community. And if you're in class, we'll see you next week. If not, we'll see you online.
Thank you
So
for
thank
coming.
you. Thanks, everybody.